Iris, I licked you. I don't think I did it for the third one. I don't know why. The single dad trope. I'm having fun. This is like a good single dad book. Shove it somewhere and get it out of my sight. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Charlotte and today we're going to read The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, and you don't know how many times I have to try to say that to get it correctly. These titles are way too long, for me at least. But yeah, this is the fourth book in the Dream Harbor series. I have a reading log on the first two in one video, and I have a reading log on the third one in a separate video. See if I can, up in the somewhere. They're somewhere. They're here or there. I don't really know. But yeah, I will try and link them if you want to go watch those. But yeah, we're going to jump into the fourth book in the series right now. And when I enjoy a series, and sometimes when I haven't even read the series, I like going in blindly to books. I don't like reading too much about the book or about the characters, just because sometimes I get an impression of the characters of the book that doesn't match up with what the book actually is, and it just gives me an icky feeling. So going in blindly, I know nothing about it, so it can't disappoint me in the same way, or I can't disappoint myself in the same way. What I do know about this one though is that it's about Iris, and she is the nanny to Archer's kid, and Archer is a single dad. That's about what I know. I also know that Iris, you do get to meet Iris in The Christmas Tree Farm, which is the third book. So I have a feeling that Kira, who is the FMC in the third book, you're also going to see her in this one. But it doesn't really matter. They are interconnected standalones, so you can technically read them in whatever order you want. But if you want to follow the storyline of them, you start with the first one and then you move this way. So you don't get any spoilers for the couples. But I think we all know what happens in a small town cozy romance book. I can tell you one thing, that so far nobody of convenience have died. So maybe I just ruined the entire series for you. Maybe you picked it up and you're like, Dream Harbor, that sounds like a place where people die. No, but yeah, we're gonna jump into this one. I'm gonna read it, and I don't think I did it for the third one. I don't know why. Maybe because I read it on my Kindle. But I did have a fun time in the first and the second one, annotating it a little bit, just highlighting stuff that I found to be, I don't know, fun or interesting, or maybe even sad. So I am going to do that in this one. I am going to annotate while I read it. So I am going to read the physical copy. I guess we're ready to just sit down and read. I've been sitting here reading for a little while. I'm actually in the middle of chapter 7 right now. I've just done a few pages here and there. I have pink when I feel like it's her chapter, and I have yellow when I feel like it's his chapter, so it kind of matches the cover. Even though it's written in third person and it doesn't really say whose chapter it is, I still feel like you get a point of view. Like, you see it for his eyes, you see it for her eyes. So that's why I decided to do that. And I thought this was something different than it is. I thought that this was a man that either lived a town over or lived in town that bought the diner to fix it up. Well, not necessarily fix it up, but to run it. And that was his legacy with his kid. I was wrong. I was way off. Well, I understood that I was way off in the first chapter. I was like, yeah, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, but I am enjoying it. It is fun. Let me see if I can read you something. No, I feel like that would be a spoiler. Oh yeah, shouldn't you have a spatula or something tattooed on your arm? His eyebrows rose. Should I have a what? Why would I? Irish shrugged. I don't know. Isn't that like a chef thing? To have a lot of tattoos of kitchen tools and meat and stuff? Meat and stuff? So I like Iris. I think she's very funny so far. I do enjoy her. No, I've marked a little bit here and there. It's just like funny quotes or, things that are funny in the book. So if I ever go back and I look at it, if I open up to the last thing I marked, it's the town will not like that. The town will like it. Elevated comfort food. What's not to like about that? The elevated part. I like it. It's fun. It's a cozy small town. I so far there's no mystery in this one, but it's just a nice town. I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I've been sitting here for what feels like days, but it's literally been like, I don't know, like 10 pages. But he goes, I shouldn't have done that. It was, I was, I don't know what I was thinking. I apologize. Oh. He ran a hand roughly through his hair like he was frustrated with himself. Maybe this isn't working out. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, and I obviously did. I'm comfortable. Very comfortable. Really no need to apologize. Iris, I'm fine. Iris, I licked you. Yeah, but not where she wanted to, so it's fine, okay? I am having a good time. I am having a good time. The only thing I'm not having a good time with is my stitches because they scratch, and I want to cut my hair really bad. But you guys didn't ask for that information either. Did I forget to take my ADHD medication today? It is the next day. I'm 250 pages into the book ish, and I'm having so much fun. This is super fun. Like the way Iris interacts with his kid, it's just so funny and witty. And even though like the part of her story, if you want to call it that, is that she doesn't know shit about kids, and she's like, well, why am I supposed to be a nanny? Like, I don't even want kids. But she still interacts with this kid like she's done it in her entire life. Even though this is one of her biggest things, that she thinks that she's not good enough to take care of this tiny human, she's doing a great job. Olive loves her. Olive finds her to be funny. She giggles, it's fantastic. It is a pretty slow burn considering it's 360-ish pages, something like that. And I would say that I think you probably have to go over the 200 mark for them to even, well, for them to do naked gymnastics. Stuff happens earlier on, but like full on naked gymnastics, it's like a little bit, I think around the 200 pages mark, a little bit over. So it's, considering the length of the book, I would say it's a little bit of a slow burn, but I don't really mind. You understand why it takes time. You understand why shit is happening. So it doesn't really feel like it's just dragging on to drag on, if that makes sense. This is the time of, I wouldn't say necessarily that Archer is grumpy, but he is definitely grumpier than her. He even points out at some point that she just feels like a very positive person, but he definitely falls harder and faster than she does. Even when you're kind of in their head, when you see things kind of from their point of view, even though it's third person, you also get the feeling that he has just admitted his feelings, at least for himself, faster than she is willing to admit her feelings for him to herself. So I find it to be super funny. I find it to be a very light, easy, entertaining read. There's not a mystery in this one, like the cozy mystery that the Pumpkin Spice Cafe was. It was kind of like a cozy mystery because there was like a mystery element to it. The same is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. That's also kind of like a cozy mystery. But there is like a tiny little mystery in the Christmas Tree Farm as well. Didn't have to be there. It's not necessary for the plot. There's no mystery in this one, like not at all. At least if there's a mystery one, they've hit it very well because I have not picked up on it. But I am having fun, I am enjoying it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish this one today because I'm going to keep on sitting here reading. Yeah, that's my plan. Okay, so I've been reading for a little while and then I had to adult because it feels like spring is upon us. So I took off all the beddings, and I don't know if you guys do this where you're from, but like a sure sign that spring is arriving here is like you see people just hang their duvets for like airing out of their windows. So I took like mine and Tom's and the kids and just hung them out of the window. All the windows are open right now and it feels so nice. Like it's not cold inside or anything, even with all the windows open. So I've done that and I washed some clothes. I helped my kid clean his room, and now we're back reading. And I've been reading a little bit. This is so much fun. Like I am enjoying this. This is like a good single dad book. I don't even feel like you need to read the other ones to read this one. Well, you do see a little bit to Hazel, but it doesn't really tell you anything about their story. So you can read this one and then read Hazel's and Noah's story if you would want to, and this one doesn't spoil anything. And I feel it's the same for the other couples as well. So you meet them, but you don't really get to know anything about them in that sense. This still makes sense in the book, it's just that you don't know anything about their story. And I am enjoying it so much. I am going to sit down and just read the final bit of the book now with my cat on my lap. Hi. I've been out for a walk with the doggo, and now I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish the book. I have like a few chapters left, and I just changed our bedding. I put on some clean clothes because I am in bed, and we're going to finish. We're going to finish this book. We're going to finish it together. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. Her friend has dragged her to the book club, and the book club is talking about the single dad trope. I found that to be funny. I have been sitting here for maybe like the last hour and a half, 2 hours ish, give or take a few minutes, finishing my book. Finishing it. If you don't like the single dad trope, if you don't like kids in books, I wouldn't recommend this. You have single dad tropes where you basically do not meet you don't see the kids that much. This is not one of them. You see the kid very much, and that is because Iris, well, she's the kid's nanny, so it's natural that you would see the kid a lot, right? Iris is one of my favorite FMCs. She's just so witty, she's sharp. Well, maybe not one of my favorite, but she's up there. She's definitely top 20 because she's witty, she's smart, she has a feeling of what she wants and kind of sticks to it, even if that makes her like the town drifter. It even says in the blurb, like she can't hold a job down, she changes jobs a lot and stuff like that, and that kind of impacts her life. That's how she ended up as a nanny to begin with. But you get a sense that even though it's draining and sometimes, having money to do stuff is not easy, she doesn't really mind. She's just easy breezy lemon squeezy, and I like that. She's happy. I'm happy. She's also extremely witty, even if it's like things that she technically says in her head or she says out loud. I've been laughing reading this book. I've been having so much fun reading this book. It is kind of a slow burn though. It takes a long time before they actually get down and dirty. I didn't mind that. I felt like the way the story was portrayed, there is a reason it takes that long, even though the book is very insta-lovey. All of the books in the Dream Harbor series is very insta-lovey. Like there's not much in between. He also falls way faster than her. But I mean, when she falls, she also falls pretty hard. So maybe they cancel each other out. I don't really know. I was so invested in this story at some point that when a little twist showed up, I was not expecting it. I was not expecting it to happen. I was shook. Maybe not that dramatic, but I didn't see it coming like a mile away. I was surprised, so she did a good job. I was not thinking that was going to happen at all. As in every book, I feel like every romance book I read have a third act breakup, and even though I understand why it happened in this book, I mean, you know the premise of the book, right? So even though I understand why it had to happen, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I understand the actions. I understand why it had to happen. Still didn't like it. I'm still not. So far, I don't think I've read in any book a third act breakup that I can get fully behind, because I feel like it's all just miscommunication or somebody not opening their mouth. Like if you just said something and communicated, but it's basically also miscommunication. So what do I know? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the third act breakup. I'm not. I understand why it has to happen, but I do not want it to happen. I want you to shove it somewhere and get it out of my sight. If you enjoy the Dream Harbor series, if you enjoy the hallmarky rom-com small town type of book, I would recommend reading the entire series. But if you only want to read the one with the single dad, which is this one, it's completely fine. You meet the other couples, you meet every couple from the three other books, and you technically meet the couple from the fifth book, which isn't out yet. But you don't really get to know their story. You don't get to know anything that will kind of spoil how their story goes. So you can read this in whatever order you want. I mean, you're not surprised that the couples ended up together. If you are, then maybe you should read more romance. But yeah, I do recommend it. This is one of, I think, even though I really liked Lost and Lassoed, which is actually the book I read right before this one. No, Lost and Lassoed, which is a single dad. Then I went Wild Eyes, which is single dad. And then I went over to this one, single dad. Do I like single dads? I think we know the answer. I had a blast reading it. I had so much fun. This is also one of the few series where I have actually gone through and tapped. I didn't do it in the first one. I might want to reread it just to do it, but it's fun. It's light. It's, how do I say it without spoiling what happens? It tugs at your heartstrings, which I feel like a lot of the single dad tropes do. I feel like they do tug on some emotion, like they do play a little bit on your emotions. But it's done in such a nice and cute way. But if you don't like the hallmarky rom-com small town type of books, this is not the series for you. This is not the series I would recommend. I would recommend reading something else for the single dad in, if you want to read a single dad. And I'm sitting here wondering if this is like a 5-star read for me. It doesn't really give me that 5-star feeling right now, but also it's like one of the better single dad books I've read. And if you want to, I don't know, when you guys, like, if you put them in categories in your head, right? Do I put this in small town, or do I put it in single dad, or do I put it in both and kind of just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.75, and I'm gonna bunk it up if I feel like it during the wrap up. I need to sit with it for just a little while, but a 4.75 is still like a solid grade. I had a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed this book as well. Please tell me in the comments if you read it, if you want to read it. Do you enjoy the single dad trope? I'm gonna go find a new book to read now. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your precious time with me. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.